My name is Mario, and I live in Italy with my wife, Zola, and my two children, Vincent and Angelo. I am an artist that paints God and spiritual things of the Catholic Church to not only make a profit, but to spread the good news of God. I have a very strong faith and enjoy my work a great deal. My family has prospered for years off of my profession because of the many followers of Christ in the area. But then, recently, my sales started to decline rapidly. Every morning, I wake up and walk to the church to have the inspiration of God while I paint. On my way there, I see many people sick and dying of the Black Plague that is upon us. It is spreading very rapidly, but I need to make money for my family, so I continue to paint every day as I leave my family at home. When I arrive at the church each day, less and less people are present. It is as if people do not believe anymore, or don't care about the church. I keep wondering why each day the number decreases, and it worries me a great deal. Once I arrive at the church, I begin to paint something magnificent each day so that I can sell it and bring the money home to my family. In the past, my paintings would go for very high prices, and my family was very prosperous, and money was never an issue. But recently, my sales were declining. If I could not sell one of my paintings and I ran out of money, then my family would not have anything to eat. This was a great motivator for me to keep doing my best work and to make sure that I could find someone to buy my paintings. I need to bring money home to my family because my children are young and need food desperately. They are becoming thin because of our lack of income. I will not let my wife go out to make money because I do not want her to be cursed by the plague. And the children need to be taken care of because they are only 5 and 3 years old. One day I woke up and my wife said that she could not take it anymore and that the children were starving, so she had to go out and try her best to make money for the family. She said the children needed to have enough food to eat, no matter what the risk was. For the next few weeks, she did various tasks for people in our town while she left the children asleep at our house. It was very beneficial to our income, and we all started to lose our constant hunger. This continued for many weeks until an event occurred that changed my entire life. I walked to church like any other day so that I could finish one of my new paintings. It was a painting of my interpretation of God, and I was sure that it would sell at a very high price. Once it was finished, I spent hours at the front of the church and on the streets trying to sell this new piece of artwork, but not a single person showed any interest. It was as if no one believed in God anymore. No one even cared. I walked home slowly, unsuccessful, and ashamed to show up at my house with nothing to offer my family. I was starting to question my own faith, like so many people had already done, because I had always thought that God would provide. When I walked into my house, my entire family was in the same bed, looking sick and miserable. I ran in and asked my wife what was wrong, and at that moment I realized they must have the Black Plague. I fell on the ground, weeping, knowing that they only had a little time left, and that there was no cure. I just wanted to die with them. I had lost all hope in my life. I didn't feel like living any longer. A couple of days later, they died as predicted. Starving and diseased, I was still alive but very weak and would not live much longer without food. I had lost all faith in my God that I had painted year after year and been raised to worship. How could any of that be true when he let such a horrible thing happen to my family? I spread his word day after day, and this is how he repaid me. How could I have faith in him? I then realized why so many people had been leaving the church, and why they had turned on God. It was all so clear now. I decided that I was going to show God by not painting him or spreading his word anymore, and continuing to live. By doing this, I needed a way to make money, so I came up with an idea to paint things other than religious paintings. I began my first work, which was a painting of my family that had passed away. With each stroke, I kept in mind my family and the fact that I was out to prove the God I used to be faithful to. I completed it in a few days and set off to sell it somewhere in my town. I went from door to door, and it was sold in no time for a very high price. This painting symbolized me showing God and helping me to feel less grief for the losses in my family. From then on, I painted humanistic things which pleased the customers much more than my religious paintings recently had. I became very prosperous, as I had been before my town was affected by the plague, and I proved my point to the God I had once worshipped.